Hello there. It's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Johnny Test, Fred Flintstone, and one of my personal favorites, Leonardo. And you are listening to Epic Tales from the Sewer. It's totally awesome. Turtle power. Go, go, go.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your host, the totally radical, if slightly mutated, Justin.
The Last Ronin 2, story by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman, art by Isao and Isaac Escorza, Ben Bishop, with colors by Luis Antonio Delgado, letters and design by Sean Lee. We start out with the action, Casey Marie Jones wearing her purple hero outfit, arms wrapped with her half Casey mask is kicking someone. Looks like she's taking down some of the gang members. She takes them down without mercy. You idiots don't know when to quit, do you? Yorkville Warriors. We fought them before, but this was their third attack on our base in as many months. We see the resistance is also taking them down. Title card, Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution. We can see now it looks like they're all surrounded and being wrapped up. But something's different each time. Better weapons, slightly more disciplined, and always larger numbers. As she continues to strike in them, then one of the resistance kicks him in the face, knocking out the electronic baton that he has. Their strikes are planned, not the usual smash and grab. Wrap this up, troops, pincer move, and block the damn exits. Want at least one of these punks conscious this time, says Casey Marie Jones. The title says, Red Skies at Dawn. Someone with glasses has a lead pipe. It looks like he's going to try to hit Casey Marie in the back of the head with a nightstick. And she goes, seriously, rah? As he goes to hit her, she catches it midstream with a shoomp, and she picks him up and holds him in a choke slam. You're obviously not smart enough to be in charge, but smart enough to answer some questions. So she throws him into a door. Wait over there! Just seeing just how physically imposing she is, and she's muscular. And she just throws these people around. She shouldn't be able to pick them up, but she clearly can. Her mutation is in full swing. Take them down hard, crew. But none die tonight.
These tactics ain't working anymore, Jones.
Damn straight. I'm getting too old for this against the world crap, says two of the resistance.
The more skulls we crack, the more line up for the same freaking thing 2 weeks later.
She drop kicks another one in a red jacket. The price we pay for being the good guys. If you say so, says one of the resistance members. Can't blame my crew for complaining. They're right. There's too many bad guys and too few of us. It's only getting worse. Month after month, year after year. Now, a big jump kick sends another one in a red jumpsuit flying. In the 15 years since Hiroto and the Foot Clan fell, the corruption in New York's gotten out of control at all levels. There's as many criminals inside the government as outside it. The crime bosses are calling all the shots. Someone takes a swipe at her with a knife, she ducks under, then uppercuts him with a then with a chock, elbows to the back of the face. Half of Rock Bottom's out of work, leaving us to fend for ourselves while the rich hoard everything. No one trusts the police either. The few good cops that do exist are just as overwhelmed as we are. You can see one of them's bear hugging one of the gang members, and the other one pops one right in the face with a haymaker that knocks him down, leaving all kinds of room for low-level gangs to run the streets. Hitting our facilities, jacking anything they can get their hands on. She slips past another one, then grabs his electric baton and then throws it at him. It's up to us to hold the line, to do the right thing for our people. With a high-rising knee takes another one down. The resistance were supposed to be peacekeepers after we took down the Foot. Instead, one comes at her with a flamethrower this time with a Aah! She ducks underneath and then hits him with a haymaker knockout punch, knocking them out of their shoes. Instead, it's become a war of attrition, and we ain't winning. As they look, they could see that they've taken down all the gang members. Okay, that's enough, she says to the resistance members. Get the hell out of here, all of you. Crawl home and tell the others next time no one walks out of here. This one's still able to talk, Scrape? I ain't saying nothing. We'll see. As she holds him up now by his neck, lifting him up off the ground. Again, she shouldn't have this type of power. Last time you punks were here, you didn't have such pretty outfits and fancy equipment. Who's hooking you up? As she has her other hand on his face as if she's crushing his skull a little bit. Think I'm gonna tell you, you goody two-shoes losers? Everyone on the streets knows you're nothing. Looks like she cracked his jaw. His nose is bleeding. She throws him on the ground. Get him out of my face before I take his off. She deposits him on the ground. They pick him up, put him in handcuffs, and they're sending him out. Put a black bag over his head so they can't see the exit. What's the plan, Casey? Haul his sorry ass over to Commander Zuranaga's bunker. Screw you, resistance pig. I ain't no snitch. Right. Good luck. Now she talks to her friend Scrape. We need better intel, Scrape. Tell the interrogation team to press him. With pleasure. Now they're taking him out. I've got all the intel you need right now. This ain't working, says one of the guys, in kind of like a Cyclops visor and looks like he's got some sort of futuristic armor on. Another one in a full headset says, yeah, these fools need a permanent beatdown. No more interrogation. Casey looks down and says, maybe. Let's keep trying it my way a little bit longer. Now get some rest. I'm headed home, she says to her crew as she walks away. Now, into the turtle's lair. We can see. Looks like Uno, Odyn, Moja, and Yi are all sitting in the kitchen. She says, I'm headed home to check on my kids. Hurry up, Sensei's gonna kill us. Come on, enough already. She's not gonna kill us. Much, says Yi and Odyn. Wow, that makes me feel so much better, says Moja. She'll know we snuck out again. Bah, dead. All of us chucked into the East River to the end. He lights a match and lights a candle. Seriously? How old are you for? Says Uno. We're teenagers. We're supposed to be rebellious. Isn't that your whole thing, Moja? Besides being morbid. Being a rebel's not supposed to be stupid, idiot. Ha, you're just scared of Sensei. Uno's talking to his sister in this way. Ooh, big bad Uno with his big bad I'm grown up act. Funny how you don't talk so tough when Sensei's training us, Captain Butt Kiss. Whatever, just get started. Now Yi says, yes, and it's my turn. I love it when we tell the tell. Me too, especially how you tell it, Yi. Can you please go back to mind talking? The pictures are cooler inside my head. That way, so dramatic like a comic book. Jeez, grow up, dude. They're referring to how they were talking telepathically before. It's called telepathy. Leave him alone, Uno. He knows what it's called, says Moja. And why do we have to do this every time anyway? It's not like we haven't had 1 trillion times already. Because it's the promise we made to one another the first time we found out our own secret lair, says Yi. To always remember where we came from, to honor the heroes who came before, and to show respect for everything Master Splinter has taught all of us. Everybody ready? They sit around the table holding hands. Yep. Ditto. Okay, here we go, says Yi. Now, we flash back. The story, it all began a long, long time ago, when the most powerful ninja warriors in all of Japan were the Foot Clan. The two best of the best in the clan were the honorable Hamato Yoshi and the ruthless, evil Oroku Nagi. Though their friendship was strong, as children, Nagi became obsessed with taking absolute control over all the Foot Clan. As they grew older, he swore that no one would stand in his way, including Hamato Yoshi. Their bond of brotherhood was already nearly broken by the time the young, beautiful Tang Shin chose Yoshi over Nagi, and Nagi could not stand to be denied. One dark and stormy night, Nagi demanded Tang Shin confess her true love for him and not Yoshi. When she refused, he jealously turned violent. The only thing stronger than the power of the Foot Clan was the love Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shin had for each other. So when Yoshi returned home to discover the horror of Nagi's rage, he was blinded by anger, and Oroku Nagi was no more. That was the day Nagi's only son, Oroku Saki, swore mortal revenge against Hamato Yoshi for killing his father, and a blood feud had begun. The once mighty Foot Clan was now a house divided. Many soldiers, along with the rest of the Hamato family, retreated to the safety of the mountains and would later become the Honorable Clan Hamato, the only warriors to stand against the terror of the Foot at that time. The remainder of the Foot, however, sided with young Oroku Saki and turned to the dark and dishonorable underworld of power, crime, and murder. And now all the while Saki plotted his revenge. To escape Yoshi's crime against the Foot Clan and protect the rest of their family, it was agreed that Yoshi and Shen must seek refuge in the steel and concrete mountains of New York City until a proper truce could be negotiated. Taking only their most precious belongings like Yoshi's beloved pet rat Splinter, and with the help of the elite sensei Master Yip, they made a journey east to the humble, loving home far away from danger. Now we can see young Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen. Looks like they're just in love here. Going through this, we could see Oroku Saki, and all of this is in Ben Bishop's art style. So Oroku Nagi, Oroku Saki, and Tang Shen and Hamato Yoshi. Now onto this, we could see an image of just what happened. Or so they thought. The years passed, and Oroku Saki's hatred of Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen grew even stronger, as did the Foot Clan's empire. Eventually, Saki's spies found the young lovers in New York. We see what looks like the Shredder now. Now, leader of the Foot Clan in his razor-sharp armor, calling himself the Shredder, Saki sanguinely ended the blood feud. His vengeance was complete, as he kills them. Or so he thought. The old rat, Splinter's survival instincts, took over and he fled into the nearby sewers, where he was greeted with the most amazing sight. 4 baby turtles, happily waiting in a puddle of thick green ooze. You see the origin story of the turtles, where all 4 of them are down there in the muck, and then Splinter drops onto them. Once again the years passed, and the rat and the turtles made their sewers their home. The mysterious ooze had changed them all into mutants, into a family. Splinter, as their adopted father, named the turtles based on his favorite, this is my favorite part, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Master Splinter, as a sensei, trained them in the art of ninjutsu in order to destroy the Shredder for the murder of Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen, and to end the Foot Clan's reign of terror forever. Using every skill Master Splinter taught the turtles over the many years of training, the historic showdown was a battle royale that would become legendary in our family history. Every beginning must have an end, and that night 4 turtles made sure Oroku Saki met his. The story goes that it was Leonardo who seems that the Shredder was shredded. They show all the turtles killing Shredder simultaneously. Unfortunately, it was not the end that they had hoped for. The battle with the Shredder was over, but the blood feud was not, and the war with the Foot Clan had just begun. It was just then that our forefathers understood that they could no longer be the warriors of vengeance. They chose to protect the innocent, in our city of New York as well. Now it goes from red and white into full color. We see full color Ben Bishop art with Karai and all the Ninja Turtles, Oroku Hiroto, and then the Ronin as it plays through the story of the Last Ronin. Oroku Saki's direct heir, Oroku Karai, took the war to the streets and seemed like a never-ending conflict. The blood feud remained thicker than water. We show when she and Raphael sort of killed each other in the water. And then with Oroku Hiroto, when Raphael fell and Oroku Karai was consumed by the forever sleep, the dark days of her sole heir, Oroku Hiroto, began. All the heroes were lost, as was the salvation. For years, the unending terror and the suffering in the city was unbearable. We show, looks like Fugitoid being destroyed in the same blast with Casey Jones and Leonardo, and then Master Splinter and Donatello with the arrows. Then when it seemed the last flicker of light would fade, he returned. The Last Ronin. We see the Last Ronin there with Casey Marie Jones. Michelangelo, the family's sole survivor, rising like an avenging knight above New York, the end of Oroku bloodline, and the Forever War. Together with our grandmother April, our mom Sensei Casey Marie, and the heroes of the resistance, the tide of the battle was finally turned. And the last Oroku was no more. Michelangelo's family was avenged, and New York City was free again, but not without incredible loss. Michelangelo was the last of his kind, a lifelong friend to Grandma and a mentor to our mom, a hero to us all. And we all wish we had the chance to know him. It shows the turtles with the mutagen that April had done to create these. And then, that's when we were born. And it shows them as young turtles training with each other. We have trained ever since to carry on the honorable traditions of the clan Hamato, Master Splinter and Master Michelangelo, to always protect and serve our family and our friends, and our city, says Yi. Not bad. Not how I do it, but good enough, says Uno. Ha! You're just jealous because she tells it better than you, Uno, says Moya. No, I'm not. I didn't say I was better. I just do things differently, that's all, says Uno. Here we go again, says Yi. Yep, says Odyn. Anyway, it's getting late. Let's go, says Uno. Well, at least you're right about one thing tonight, snorts Odyn. Whatever. Yi blows out the candle, and they leave. Now, into what looks like an industrial factory area where April is standing with some scientists and building. Looks like a big system into the sewers here. Okay, Marley, go ahead and send everyone but the night watch home. You got it, Dr. Jones, referring to April. Marley is a young woman with a dark complexion, dark hair, and a red bandana, wearing red gloves and sort of a matching brown and red outfit, has a bullhorn and says, All right, guys, pack it up. We're calling it a day. Another great job. Thanks, everyone, says April. See you tomorrow. Okay, Ahmed. How bad is it? Says April. Well, Dr. Jones, we've made some progress with the pumps. But we're keeping the water levels down in the sector, but until we expand the patchwork that we're sending through those, we're spending more time chasing leaks than we are tunneling, which we can't get fuel or parts anyway, boss. Specifics, please, says April as they continue. My inventory shows we have enough fuel to keep 32% of our excavation equipment operable, but we have 0 drill bits left for our main boring machine. Well, sort of fabricating them ourselves, we knew finding replacement parts would be tough. I'll reach out to Tinker too and see if she knows anything available on the black market fuel too. Good luck with that, wacko. We have way more work than people to do it. Sighs April. We can see now her cybernetic hand. I'll speak with Commander Zerinaga and see if he can spare more troops. That'll be tough, Dr. Jones. All the resistance teams are spread way too thin in recruiting. Well, most folks got other things to do than worry about these days, and what we're doing. Maybe I'll talk to him. He knows how crucial connections are in those tunnels will be for moving support troops and emergency teams around the city. Well, if you allow me to assist you with the development of the nanometals that we've been using for the patchwork, that would free up some of our current workforce from having to constantly deal with leakage issues, says Ahmed. Let me think on it, Ahmed. I'm still running a lot of safety tests on this new tech. She puts her hand on his shoulder. I just want to make sure that I know what we're doing before bringing you into the middle of it. Okay. Well, I know I'm not the only one tired as hell. Let's look at these problems with fresh eyes tomorrow. April finishes up with them, and they all leave. Now, back with the turtles as they're on the rooftops coming thing. Time to head home. Dang it, we should have gone straight to the west side. We're getting through the neighborhoods. It's taking too long, says Uno. Who's worried about being late now, huh? Besides, there's too many homeless over there. This'll be quicker. They're everywhere, says Yi. I feel so sad for them. I wish we could help somehow. Me too. Except Sensei says we gotta stay underground because people won't understand us, says Odyn. You think she'll ever change her mind? asks Yi. Maybe. But right now, we gotta get our butts home before we get put in restriction again, says Moya. Yeah, last time was 3 months and no games. Sensei said the next time's gonna be 6. What? 6? says Odyn. Knock off the chatter. Jeez, says Uno. Now you even sound like Sensei. Besides, you started it, and I'm ending it. Hustle, just 5 more blocks. I thought we were hustling, finishes Uno. We're all talking mentally via telepathy as they go, so they're being as quiet as possible. They jump onto what looks like a flying bus. Just because we're late doesn't mean we'll get caught. We sneak in the same way as we snuck out. Easy. Except nobody else was home when we snuck out, Uno. Which is why we gotta do it quick and quiet, Yi. As they jump off from a bus to the train tracks to the subway into the sewers as they're going. Like ninjas. Hell yeah. Oh, spare me. as they go past Bleecker Street. Remember, quick and quiet. Into the sewers, closing the manhole. Some bums think they saw them, but they're just not as interested. Now, into the sewers. Looks like Uno has changed his colors a little bit. I'll be even luckier if Grandma April brings me home takeout. I'm starving. Still dark. No one's home yet, says Uno. Talk about lucky, retorts Yi. What's new? Wait, something smells wrong. You and your overactive nose, Moya. You just keep moving, drop the gear, and let's get to our rooms before they... Check it out, says Casey Marie as he turns on the light, catching them. Looks like we got some nasty cockroaches sneaking around the place, says Casey Marie, who's out of her outfit now. Now Grandma April says, Yep, except roaches are usually quick enough to scatter when the lights come on, says April. Where have you sneaky little bugs been? It was Uno's idea, says Odyn. Dude! No, that's not true. It was all our idea. Are we in trouble? Says Yi. Nah, it's fine. Let's order pizza and celebrate you for breaking the rules. What do you think, Yi? I'm just way too tired to decide what the right punishment is right now. You and me both, kid, says April to Casey Marie, but the pizza idea does sound pretty good. Moya said next time we snuck out, we were supposed to get 6 months of restriction. Yi, what the hell? Says Moya. What she meant to say was going outside was a good way to practice our, Odyn fumbles, but Uno picks it up. Our stealth skills. Yeah, stealth practice. Really? Seems more like you're practicing your lying skills to me, says Casey Marie. Says April. Get washed up, kids. We'll figure out dinner as soon as the news is over. I swear, you think these just make up the rules to just be hard-asses, not for their safety. I hear you, kiddo. Lucky for me, you never broke any of my rules when you were their age, says April. Huh, whatever. Good evening, New York. This is Amanda Rose Connor, reporting live for Channel 6 News from the steps of City Hall, where moments ago, Mayor Palmalotti and Police Chief Farley concluded what at best described as a contentious press conference. Let me guess, some of the same old, lie and redirect, says April. They've got no clue people are already past the breaking point, or that they just don't care. Hey, it's Amanda Connor. She's so awesome, says Yi. And pretty, says Odyn. Gee, thirsty much, Odyn, says Moya. When asked about addressing years of steadily rising crime rates in the city, Mayor Palmalotti had this to say. By focusing on the slightly elevated crime rate, you lose sight of our main plan, expanding available job opportunities for our citizenry. We're working diligently with business leaders in our community to introduce a variety of new employment opportunities citywide, which will help reduce criminal activity. Back to Amanda. When pressed about what kinds of protection and life support citizens should expect while these so-called near-future job opportunities are being discussed, Mayor turned the podium over to Chief Farley. Look, I'll be doing every cop on the force a disservice if I didn't call out the media for adding unnecessary drama to an already complicated situation. Things aren't perfect in this city right now, but they aren't as bad as you reporters are painting them. I guarantee all the officers on NYPD are doing their very best to keep it that way. Amanda asked the question. Then shouldn't we worry about the rumors of a citywide gang war brewing, which, if true, could potentially put all New Yorkers in the crossfire? She asked him directly. Right, exactly, rumors. That's what you hacks are operating from these days. Now back, Mayor Palmalotti. What the chief means, despite any unfounded gossip to the contrary, my administration is working in tandem with the police department and feels confident that the city's on a positive, speedy, and most importantly, peaceful path to recovery. Now, if you'll excuse us, Lieutenant Jiro Wantabi will take things from here. That'll be all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Please feel free to submit any further questions to my office directly, and thank you. Back to Amanda. We are once again left with more questions than answers from this administration, which continuously fails to put in place any real plans for recovery or factually address overwhelming homelessness and food shortages. And with independently tabulated crime statistics providing factual counter to the Chief Farley's claims of media-driven hysteria, his guarantees to protect and serve fall short of the needs of the real people in our city. One thing you can be certain of, however, is that I will continue to push for answers and provide any updates as soon as they become available. Amanda Rose Connor, reporting live from City Hall, Channel 6 News. As they switch back to their conversation. Poor Jiro, he's got to be frustrated by this, says April. Beyond. It's clear what's going wrong, but he doesn't know who to trust him to fix it. The Resistance could really use someone like him. Have you talked to him about joining? Not yet. I still want to keep those two worlds separate. Too many lives at stake is what makes any mistakes right now, says Casey Marie. Well, I think waiting to eat any longer is a mistake. Who's ready for dinner? I am, says Odyn. Shocker, says Uno. Crap, that's the emergency line. Commander Zaranaga, what's going on?
Sorry, Casey. I know this just came up off shift. We've got 2 facilities under attack, and I don't have the troops to reinforce both. The Sector 7 Armory in West Harlem is a priority, but the main food bank is urgent care base on the docks, with 2 bridges is getting hit hard. I'm taking a squad uptown, but 2 bridges is your backyard. Can you pull your team back together and deal with that? They need reinforcements now.
My guys have gone 2 weeks straight without a break.
Anyone you can find, Casey? They're being overrun.
She looks very intently at the phone. April comes back. What's going on? Commander Zaranaga, 2 more bases are under attack. It's bad. They need help right now. There's no one left, but... She closes her eyes, thinks for a minute. Kids, grab your gear, weapons too. It's time to fight, she says. Wait, Casey, it's too soon. Let's talk about this, says April. Finally, some real action, says Uno, as they all walk on. Time to kick some serious ass. Uno, language! I'm going to call Commander Zaranaga. There have to be other soldiers he can send, says April. No time, Mom. It's up to us. Sorry. It's okay, Grammy. We've been training our whole lives, says Yi. Yeah, well, we'll be totally safe, says Odyn. Damn it, Casey Marie, says April. Now, into the facility we can see it looks like a red crosses everywhere and it's being overrun by gang members. Casey Marie says, Commander Zaranaga wasn't kidding. This is a frickin' mess. Bad enough that they steal our stuff, but now they're trashing the place too. Okay, nothing fancy, just follow my lead and pick a target. Casey Marie back in her action outfit, the black with purple, and she's got the half mask as she runs in, starts taking people down quite quickly with a hit. And take them down hard. Don't you idiots know everything here's already free? She starts smacking them in the face as she picks one up. All you gotta do is wait in line, just like everyone else. She throws one back into a line of others. Be a lot less painful that way, for you. Whoa, says Moya. Sensei's a beast. I'm not sneaking out of the lair ever again, says Yi. Hey ninjas, this is what you all trained your whole lives for. Quit standing around and fight. As she's fighting about 6 of them at once. Sensei's right, says Moya. Come on, says Uno. They spring into action. Damn it, Mom's right, says Casey Marie. Maybe I'm pushing them into this too soon. As she uppercuts one of them. Please, don't let this be a mistake, she says. You see Uno getting into it, taking the one out with a jump kick. Another one swings over and he ducks. What gang you freaks supposed to be? We're not a gang and we're not freaks. We're ninjas. As he knocks a blade out of one of their hands and stabs another with his katana blade. Now, Yi doing a big flip. Perfect, I've been practicing this for 2 months. There's a big flip onto the ground with the bow staff like a pole vault and then lands, knocking everybody out of the way. Can't hit what you can't catch. Knocks to the ground, knocks him out. Another one, running forward with some medical supplies, doesn't see Odyn there. Forget this, I'm out of here. Knocks into him and just stonewalls, falls down on the ground. Didn't notice the giant turtle there blocking his way. Casey Marie looks over and holds one in another chokeslam position, and she can see the turtles are not only holding their own, they're doing great. We see Moya and we see Uno. Their training's kicking in, and they're taking out 4 or 5 at a time. They're actually doing it. Odin's just standing there with kind of a perplexed look on his face. Yi takes out another one with the bow staff. One with the back, and then with a palm strike to the front. Moya knocks one into the air with a back kick, knocking a wrench out of their hands. And then Odyn again just standing there. Talk about zero training, says Moya as she hits another one with an elbow into the face. Yeah. They ever hear of ducking or blocking? Says Uno. Would. As one gets punched in the gut by Casey Marie. I don't remember training you to jabber. Just finish your business like I taught you. Watch all the incoming attacks, angles, weapons at the ready, says Casey Marie. She hits another one with a rising knee strike. Know your next strike before you finish the first and stay one step ahead of them. And always cover each other's backs. Now Yi with a crescent kick taking one out. Yes, Sensei. Odyn pulls out some giant nunchucks. Yes. As he starts to say Sensei, he senses something behind him, and he goes completely gray and turns to what seems like stone as someone smashes the handle of a hammer on him with a crack. No!
Odyn! Casey Marie ducks out of the way. Moya, your brother! What the hell happened? We don't know, Sensei. It's like he's frozen solid. As we could see, all of the thugs have been knocked out on the ground, and now they're just looking at their brother, Odyn, who stands there like a monolith, almost looking like he's turned to complete stone. And that's the end of the first issue of Last Ronin 2. It says to be continued.
Hi, this is Adam, a.k.a. Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
Issue 2. We start out as issue 1 ended with April in the battle shell driving everybody, and looks like Odyn is still frozen in his state. Outpost 3, this is Resistance 1. I'm coming in hot with sensitive cargo, says April. I need the entrance on Houston and Bowery open now. We're coming up on the lair. How's Odyn doing? Uno says, he's still paralyzed. Says Odyn, as everybody looks on in horror as he's laying down on a stretcher in the back. No, wait, he's coming back, says Yi. That's it, baby, says Casey Marie. Hang in there. We're almost home. As they come into a big garage, we could see they open up the top of the shell. Everybody's coming out and they're carrying Odyn. Get him into my lab. Hurry, says April. Crap, he's heavy as hell, says Uno. Not the time, Uno. Sorry, Sensei. What happened, says Odyn. Now, they're starting to get him to sit up a little bit. It looks like his color's changing back to normal. You okay to sit, Odyn? I think so, Sensei, says Odyn. You can do it, Odie. We got you, says Yi. You about gave me a freaking heart attack out there, kid. Yeah, dude, it's like you totally froze up. You get scared when you started fighting, says Moya. No, I wasn't scared, Moya. I just couldn't move all of a sudden. I tried to fight, but I couldn't, says Odyn. Maybe it's hypokalamic PP. Hypokalamic what? Says Moya. Yi explains. Hypokalamic period paralysis. I read about it once in one of Grammy's medical books. It's a temporary paralysis caused by low potassium. Stress or too much exercise can trigger it. Foods with lots of sugar and starches, too. Well, if it's too much junk food makes it happen, I'm not surprised, says Uno. Don't be a jerk. Moya corrects him. Just saying. Whatever it is, how you feeling now? Says Casey Marie to Odyn. I don't know. Mostly just pretty tired, I guess, Sensei. And a little hungry. Food's gonna have to wait for now, says April. I've got some tests I need to run first. Why don't the rest of you kids go get cleaned up and I'll whip up some dinner as soon as Odyn and I are done here. Better yet, after you clean up, why don't you three cook dinner, says Casey Marie. And since you're so worried about junk food, Uno, let's have something healthy. Yes, Sensei. The three of them walk away. Yay, I love kitchen duty, says Yi. Just couldn't keep your mouth shut, huh, bro, says Moya. Whatever, says Uno. Guys, I'm a little scared about Odie. Do you think he's going to be okay? Asked Yi. I thought you were the expert, Yi. You tell us. Leave her alone, dude, and Odin's going to be fine, as the three of them walk away. Grandma will make sure of it. All right, tough guy. All set. You see Odin's got some, looks like sensors on the top of his head so they can check his vital signs. Gotta say, pretty brave how you handle needles. Even Master Michelangelo was afraid of shots. They don't even hurt, Grammy. Feels like tiny pinches. Not surprising considering he took a sledgehammer to the skull without blinking, says Casey Marie. Honestly, I don't remember that part, Sensei. I'm going to leave you on the monitors for just a little longer, Odyn, while I go talk to your mom. Try not to move too much, okay? As soon as we're done, I'll whip up some special grilled cheese sandwich just for you. That'll be way better than what those making, for sure. Yep, I think I'll make one for me too, says April. Let's leave your student alone for a sec, Sensei, as April tries to get her out of the room. But, come on, grabs Casey Marie. What's going on, Mom? The truth. I'm not seeing anything abnormal right now, at least externally. Let's see what the tests say. But Yi said he might have hypoglycemic paralyzers. Hypo what? Oh, that girl reads way too much. It was too early to take him out. You were right. This is my fault, says Casey Marie. Stop. Quit blaming yourself. But Odyn, deep breath, kiddo. Whatever happened, I don't think it had to do with you taking them out. April consoles Casey Marie. Listen, this is what I do, Case. I got this. I'll follow the sign. Oh, she's awake. She's definitely shocked with her eyes. She goes, "Ah!" She gets up. Well, what the hell are you? We're friends, says Casey Marie, started by Uno. Just friends, that's all, from the Resistance. I'm Casey Marie Jones, and these are my kids, Uno and Moja. Kids? Wait a second. I know. I've seen you working in the streets of the Resistance before, but you two, I've only ever heard of you. Crazy stories from when I was a kid. Now, we go to the Kevin Eastman art style. We could see, indeed, Amanda Rose Connor as a kid, and then sitting there having some, looks like breakfast or dinner with her family. Once my dad used to tell me when any chance he got, that when the Foot were running things, so my family didn't have much. Nobody did back then. But we did have my dad's stories, which means, at least, he always had heroes to hope for. We could show, it looks like the Ninja Turtles, the actual brothers, wearing different outfits and stuff, fighting Foot Clan. Dad worked for the city before I was born. He said that there were whispers in the maintenance crew were superpowered turtle men, that he called them, that roamed the sewers. He said they moved like ghosts, only ever coming out of the shadows whenever it was time to hunt. To hunt bad guys, that is. Dad told us that the turtle men fought hard against the crime wave that was consuming the city, protecting innocent citizens caught in the crossfire. But in the end, the wave was just too big even for them to stop. Then one day, they were just gone. The way my dad put it, when the turtle men fell, the Foot Clan rose. But when I was 10 years old, something wild happened, as the city's first power went down, and then right after that, so did the Foot Clan. We see kind of a flashback to when the Last Ronin ended, and Ronin was fighting Oroku Hiroto. My dad insisted that it was the turtle men that had come back finally to save New York. 10-year-old me desperately wanted to believe that, but over the years things started slipping into corruption again. I figured my dad's stories were just that, stories. But here you are, just like Dad said. Not exactly. The turtle men your dad was talking about were from way back. They definitely existed, and they did fight for the city. And it's true that one of them came back to help take down the Foot, but they weren't men, they were mutants, and they're all dead now. Wait, is that a giant rat? She says, picking up a picture of the turtles and Splinter. In a kimono? Yeah, it is. Why don't you grab a seat so we can get you all patched up? We got a lot to catch you up on. Now, back into the lab with Zayton Honeycutt, we see April has come in, now with new vials of blood from the other turtles. Ah, April, I was expecting you. I received Yee's neurological data and have begun analysis. Thanks, Professor. I've got her blood work, too. I'm thinking we can run cross-references against Odyn samples. Agreed. I've already begun doing that with their individual brain scans. On the subject of Odyn's blood, I have some interesting findings to share with you, my friend. It appears the mutagen you first injected into his natural terrapin form not only remains active, but is in a continual metamorphic state as well. And I suspect that at this point in his biological maturation, the mutative process is advancing quickly. Maturation? Do you mean puberty? Affirmative. I suspect the combination of mutagen that remains viable in the turtles' bodies in their nascent pubescence may cause for their secondary mutations they are experiencing. I will continue to run tests on both Odyn and Yee's blood as well as their neurological data. We should also obtain current data samples from Uno and Moja. So these enhanced powers they're displaying may be nothing more than a natural step forward in their mutagenic evolution. Potentially. But there are another vital factor we must acknowledge. When you mutated them, you included DNA you collected from Michelangelo, which contained elevated radiation levels from the time he spent in China. See TMNT, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. What we don't yet know is what these levels are impacting his new metamorphic state. I'd hoped the radiation levels were benign enough not to be a concern. Maybe I was too optimistic in that regard. Again, continue tested is required. I will. Hold please. Incoming warning transmission. He turns red. The whole screen turns red. Zaytons, what's happening? I am under cyber attack, April. Viral malware. Non-random. Source unknown. This is a pinpoint data strike aimed at shutting down all physical security protocols from within. The malware is attempting to override and replace my existing nano-based facilities. Can you stop it? I am attempting to neutralize the firewall breach, but I am meeting with extreme resistance. I am doing very best to repel the attack, but I fear this has placed us all in severe danger, she says, just looking on, absolutely shocked. Back to Casey Marie and Amanda Rose Connor. I'm really sorry for freaking out earlier. I see a lot of crazy things being a reporter and your kids, huh? Don't sweat it. I had my mom's stories about the first turtles to go by, plus actual pictures of them, and I still lost the first time I saw Michelangelo. This all just blows my mind. Mutant turtles who used to protect the city? A lone Ronin who came back to stop the Foot Clan? Now new mutant turtles who are doing the same? If this was fiction, nobody believed me. Yeah, well, you think the stories you've heard so far are crazy? Wait till you meet my mom. She's been in the middle of this mutant stuff practically from the start. Can't wait to talk to her, and I can't wait to tell the entire city about this, just like the first good news in years. Hell no, that ain't gonna happen. No point having secret heroes if they ain't secret. But hold that thought, I gotta take this. Jiro, Casey, thank God you're okay. Yeah, I'm at home. I had to take care of some injured soldiers. Okay, you need to listen carefully to me right now. I'm still out here with the SWAT team, and it doesn't look like we're gonna stand down anytime soon. The Chelsea Cartel and Midtown Mafia haven't stopped going at it. We're stuck in the middle of this whole damn mess. I can get my crew together to help you guys out. No, don't do that. I told you to lie low, and I still mean that. It's just the reason I'm calling is because something about this is all wrong. You think? No, I mean, yeah, of course, the gang's fighting is wrong, but something else about this stinks. Something this big had zero intel on? It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand. What are you saying, Jiro? I don't know, just lie low, like I said, but watch your six and be ready to move fast. I'm not confident anywhere's safe right now. She looks very concerned on the phone as Jiro called. We see on the bottom. So the diversion seems to be working as planned. Are we prepared for the next phase, Richie? Aye, Mr. Carrington. The Angels and Saints crews are still having a go making right bloody ruckus as promised, and Chief Fairley's police have chased the resistance back into their holes. The Crusader Knights are ready to make sure they stay there permanently. See, they do. The resistance will have their attention focused on what's happening on the streets. Strike all their underground bases swiftly and silently, and they'll never see you coming. Make it happen, Richie. Aye, boss. And you, Mr. Jigsaw. Are you and your purple dragons ready for your special mission? Not a question you ever needed to ask, Mr. Carrington. We shall see. Bring me those mutants and you'll make me a very happy man. And whether I'm happy, I tend to be very giving. Wouldn't be doing this job otherwise. Now, if you'll kindly pardon me, sir, me and my dragons gotta get on the road. You see now, it looks like a whole bunch of black SUVs just driving down in a little convoy. The men who are dressed in knights with red paint are going into the sewers, while the resistance and the police force are distracted up on top. We can see the resistance. There's 2 guards who are guarding the hangar there. Lieutenant Wantabi, to all squad leaders. We're too spread out. Pull back to the command center and 34th and Penn Station. We need to regroup and redeploy. Now we see the purple dragons have entered in the mix. Come on, dragons. You got your asses moving. Bravo team, I want secure defense perimeter in place yesterday. Alpha and Charlie teams with me in the tunnels. We can see the 2 guards that were there for the resistance are now being taken out by the knights. The purple dragons are now following on Jigsaw. 200 yards from the target. Give me all eyes on secondary tunnels. Now back to Jiro on the top. Move, damn it, move! The police are having a hard time. There's an explosion nearby. Hold up. We can see that they've made it to another area, and the knights are just wrecking all of the resistance members, just taking them out. I thought we already knocked out the security in this zone. Get the tech team up here pronto. We don't disable those traps, we're gonna blow the whole damned mission. We can see them at the locked door. Back to Amanda Connor, who's there. She says, I really should get going. Story or no story, I need to get up and top and see if my crew's okay. Casey Marie Jones says, not just yet. I'm trying to get the all clear from Commander Zirinaga, but the comm doesn't seem working. Could be this frickin' mess turned a citywide situation. You're right, Sensei, something's wrong. Something really bad, says Moya. Tech team's here now for the Purple Dragons, and he's hooked his laptop computer up to the security system because he's trying to hack it. It's not just on the streets. Right, hack's done. Security offline. Hard and fast, Dragons. I want the target secured before we know what's hit him. Satan says, we have lost our primary security systems in Sector 1. Secondary movement sensors are still active, but indicate multiple intruders. Who? Who, damn it? Unknown. We've lost our comms. Forget I asked. Casey! Commander Zirinaga! Why are you calling on the CB radio? We're under attack, Casey. I'm not sure how much longer we can hold out here. We can see the knights are all taking them out. He slipped away so he can call her. Hey guys, what's going on? Says Odyn. Damn it, phone's out, says Casey. Just a few more seconds, says Jigsaw. 2, 1, move! Sector 2, security feed lost, says Zayden. And this time the movement sensors as well. I am blind and deaf to our intruders. How much time for them to get here from Sector 2? Less than 10 minutes. But there's something else, April. I am receiving scattered transmissions from all of our allies. It appears the entirety of the resistance is currently under attack. All bases? Affirmative. They are all my crypto security countermeasures. I am losing the battle against this malware virus, April. I fear we are running out of time. Fire in the hole, dragons, he says, putting C4 on it, and all of a sudden, a boom! A huge explosion. What the? Says Uno. Explosion, says Moja. Ninjas, gear and weapons, now! You know what must be done, says Zayden. This is the very contingency that we created the protocol, April. I know! But maybe there's more time. No, the virus is taking over my facilities. Resistance reinforcements will not be arriving. We can see now the knights are being overrun. In comes the purple dragons. The lair is in danger. You must save your family and friends, says Zayden. I know. I'm sorry, Zayden. This is April O'Neil Jones, the Resistance Emergency Frequency. Initiate Rally Point Teddy Bear Protocol. Damn it, says Zaranaga. I say again, initiate Rally Point Teddy Bear Protocol. Well, looks like we're about to find out how good we are at our jobs, Ahmed, they say in the tunnels. Immediately. Oh, April, you got to be frickin' kidding me, says Tinker 2. Get ready. They're coming, says Casey Marie. No, Sensei. It's Grammy April. Everyone to the garage now. You too, Amanda. Wait, Mom. This is home. We gotta fight them. It's too late, Case. I've initiated Teddy Bear Protocol. Holy hell. Teddy Bear? Immediate evacuation. I'll explain later. We gotta go right now. Mom's flooding the rock bottom. All of a sudden you see water comes in behind the purple dragons. Oh, hell no, says Jigsaw. Fall back! We're all dead if we don't fall. He's overtaken by water. You can see that there's just chaos all around. Everybody's drowning. Wait, that plan's insane. Well, if you think that's nuts, wait till you see where we're going. As we can see now, a wall of water gushing in behind the battle shell. And it says, to be continued. If we get there, that is. And that's the end of issue 3.
Hi, this is Francois Chow. I am the Shredder from Secret of the Ooze. And it's been a pleasure for me to talk to Justin and Eric on Epic Tales from the Sewers. It's been great, guys.
It says Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, Secrets. It starts out with a drone flying over an island that we get a view of. It's Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt Island, this is Resistance 1. We are inbound. Now we show the battle shell coming in up through the water. Looks like the tires look like hovercrafts. April says, Teddy Bear Protocol is in effect. Acknowledge Resistance 1. Proceed to Bay 3. Wait, Teddy Bear Protocol? Says Amanda Rose Connor. Why do you call it that? Oh, I get it. Roosevelt Island, Teddy Bear. Huh? Says Uno. Yi responds, You know, Theodore Roosevelt? Who? Says Uno. Never mind, says Yi. Amanda looked puzzled, still having a bandage on her head from when she was attacked. I'll explain it later, says Yi. The battle shell comes into bay number 3. Okay, I'm confused. I thought this island was uninhabitable. Me too, says Yi. How come you never told us about this place, Grammy April? Casey Marie responds. I was wondering the same damn thing. Is it just me, or is this Teddy Bear a lame code name? Or who is this Theodore guy? Says Uno. Who cares? Says Moja. Maybe Grandma's just into teddy bears. I like teddy bears, says Uno. We know, Odyn, says Moja in response. We know. Casey Marie is now confronting April. What the hell, Mom? What is this place? This is the Resistance Backup Headquarters, Case. Wait. Since when? I knew this island was our escape plan, but... There you are.
We were starting to get worried you weren't going to make it, Dr. Jones. You see that the woman with the red headband from the area with all the pipes is in there now, asking them. Marley, thank God. Where's Ahmed? Says April. In the command center. We're going to get everything up and running before everyone's heading this way. And Commander Zaranaga? No word yet, but knowing him, he's probably just making sure everyone else gets here first. Yeah, you're probably right, says April. Okay, let's get to work. Mom, hold up. We're not done talking yet, says Casey Marie. You didn't answer my question. How long have you been fixing up this place? My team and I have been retrofitting Stockman's old facilities right after Mikey killed Hiroto. You and your team? She looks back, pretty upset, pointing her hand back to her real team as the turtles stand there behind her. What about us? Me and the kids? Ain't we on your team? That's a silly question, Casey, and you know it, says April. Is it, when you're keeping secrets this big from us? Look, Case, I'm sorry your feelings are hurt. That wasn't my intent. It was only ever to protect you and the turtles. But in the case you haven't noticed, we're at war, kiddo. We have been for a long time. And in war, there are some things best kept compartmentalized as much as possible. Upgrading Roosevelt Island was a need to know, Casey, and until now, you didn't need to know. She looks, they all have their mouths agape, just kind of looking at April, shocked. Sensei, we're just wondering how long we're going to be here, says Moya. Yeah, when can we go home, says Uno. Home, says Casey. We're standing in it. Now, at a command center with a bunch of screens, April talks to Marley. How we looking, Marley? Not too bad, actually. All systems are starting to come online. We should have full functionality soon. Right on time, too. I just got worried the others were almost here. Wow, look at this place, says Amanda Rose Connor. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff, responds Yi. Now, internal monologue, we could see that they're talking. Guys, is the layer really gone forever with all our stuff? Dude, quit whining about your stupid toys. You heard Grandma, we're at war, says Uno. You're stupid, Uno, says Moya. But he's right, Odyn. It is serious business. We'll worry about the layer later. Right now, we gotta be strong for Sensei. And Grandma April, too. What? Wait, what happened here? Dunno. It was our direct communication console to the exterior mainframe in Rock Bottom. It just started glitching, all of a sudden completely unresponsive to troubleshooting. I tried to shut it down, but a massive power surge fried it before I could, knocking out the comms interface at the same time. Zayden. We hear a voice. Yes, April, you are correct. What? The console. The console? It's morphing. We can see that it's changing into a humanoid-like robot. It kind of looks like some sort of android, with possibly the face of the Fugitoid. Mom, get back! No, wait. Professor Honeycutt? Just as promised, my friend. I will always be here to help you. Now, we hear a voice. If it's not too much, I would very much appreciate an explanation as to what the bloody hell happened out there. Same thing that always happens when bullets start flying. Whole damn plan went out the window. First casualty of war, says Jigsaw. Bullets? Really? By the look of it, appears that they were shooting at you with water pistols. Very funny, Mr. Carrington. Humor is not my intention, I assure you, Mr. Jigsaw. Between Richie's inability to fully eliminate the resistance forces with his crusaders and your failure to bring me the special prize you promised, I'm finding this very little to smile about. Mr. Carrington is a large individual wearing a white coat. He's got white hair that's kind of slicked back. Looking at the Manhattan skyline behind him, we can see that he stands there with one of his saints, who has a red sort of cross on his armor in front and a red masking face, and Jigsaw stands there as well. In truth, I can't help but feel I've wasted much time and resources bringing you and your purple dragons into the coalition, Mr. Jigsaw. All due respect, sir, you can shove your truth straight up your ass. I lost some damn good people in that flood. Hell, I almost bought it myself. And yet here you stand, while the mutants I sent you to fetch do naught. As for your so-called good people, How did you so aptly describe it? Ah, yes. Expected casualties of war. You know what? Forget this. I'm done with all this useless yapping. Talk about what a stupid waste of time. Good riddance. And now it appears a temporary truce is in order whilst I sort this mess out. Unlike you, inept lot, I never let flying bullets derail my plans. Back to the lair, now Zayden Honeycutt talking. I know you were not planning this, but I promise, you have no reason to fear me. Even in this form, I remain Zayden Honeycutt, your ally and friend. Everyone get back! Not one more step, robot! Says the sergeant of the resistance. We can see the team behind him. He draws his pistol. No, wait! Stand down, sergeant! So April gets in front of Zayden. He's one of us! It's really you, isn't it? Affirmative, April. It is me. She gives him a hug. Oh, thank God. I thank you. I can't recall the last time I was embraced. Trust me, you earned it. But how, Zayden? It really wasn't so complicated, my friend. When the virus first started attacking our systems, I immediately began transferring the parts of myself functioning within the lair, as well as our most sensitive data, to the computational facilities located here on Roosevelt Island. Then, when you'd initiated Teddy Bear Protocol, when the floodwaters were released, I completed the transfer, leaving behind an impenetrable firewall to stop the virus in its tracks, so to speak. Once my full digital essence was here, it was just a matter of utilizing nanotechnology to construct new form from various hardware components in this facility. I wanted to assure that I was physically separate from the network in case it had been corrupted. An ongoing process, as you can see, because he's not quite complete. Well, not gonna lie, none of that sounds uncomplicated to me, but I'm as glad as hell you pulled it off. Jones, what the hell is going on? You're asking me, Scrape? But there's more, April. The virus was a well-planned attack, which I believe originated from the Chevalier's compound. Carlton. Affirmative. And there is another anomaly I discovered in Oroku Hiroto's former tower. Okay, you've got me curious, but let's hold off on discussing this until Commander Zaranaga gets here. Sergeant Conway, any word from your boss? No, ma'am. I was hoping we'd find him here. Yeah, me and you both, says April. Okay, folks, we're going to need a full accounting of who's here and who's not. And once that's done, we need to figure out where our missing friends are at. Which means I'm going to need you two to get on your comm systems back online. Whatever it takes. You got it, Doc, says Ahmed. And I will assist in this task, says Aiden. Casey, why don't you see about getting Amanda and the kids situated? And then you and your crew can help with all the new arrivals. But, Mom, what? Listen, I know everyone has questions, and I want to make sure to answer them as best that I can once I get everything back online. But before we do anything else, we need to know what's going on in the city. Now we see Commander Wantabi giving a pep talk to the resistance forces. Listen up. We got minutes to get patched up and hydrated before we get back on the streets. What about the busted comms, LT? Still down. Tech guys are working on them. Lieutenant Wantabi, a runner from the city hall just dropped this off. Give me the TLDR. A truce has been called between Chelsea Cartel and the Midtown Mafia. Chief Farley wants all police back on the streets to make sure it sticks. Copy that. Any word on the resistance? Yes, sir. Apparently there was some kind of massive flood after they retreated. The entire underground was wiped out. They're talking a massive casualty event. No! We see his face. He looks shocked. Casey! Now, back to Casey, looking kind of concerned. As everybody else sits in the kitchen, just kind of looking on, Amanda Rose Connor says, It's gonna be okay. You'll see, Odyn. She comforts Odyn, who's sitting down. But our house is gone, and all of our stuff is gone. Oh, brother, says Uno. Did you guys see Grammy's robot? Wow, how cool was that? Says Yi. Is something wrong, Sensei? What are you looking at? Asks Moya. Nothing. Everything. Oh, good, as April comes in. I see you guys found a place to crash. Not the Ritz, I know, but it'll get cozier the more we set up. Speaking of it, I grabbed everyone's remaining gear from the battle wagon. Uno, go help your grandma. Yes, Sensei. Thanks, kiddo. Take some stuff from April. Thank you for being so patient, Miss Connor. It's not the day I would bet you were expecting. Please, call me Amanda. And no worries, Dr. Jones. I get the feeling that I'm not the only one caught up by the surprise today. But all things considered, I'm good. I'm just really worried about my crew and the other people caught in the crossfire. You're not alone in that either. We're waiting on word from a lot of our missing people, too. But we're busting our butts to get the communications back up, so we should have news soon. How about you kids? Holding up okay? Rough day so far. It's like the worst day ever, Grandma. Dude, quit being such a crybaby. Leave him alone, Uno. This does suck. Yeah, it does, Moya. What about you, Yi? Doing okay, sweetie? I'm good, Grammy. I mean, I'm a little sad about the lair, but I know you and your robot are going to fix it all back up just like you did to this place. And I can help. Sure, kiddo. We'll see. But since we're talking about the lair, how about I tell you a story before we get back to work? Won't take long. You too, Sensei. I'm good. Casey Marie Jones? Fine, she says, giving her a look, a glare. So, okay, you may or may not be surprised to find out that this isn't the first time we lost a home. First one was a little studio apartment I rented while I was in grad school. We switched to the Ben Bishop art style. See April sitting in her studio apartment on the couch. Nothing fancy, but it was mine, and that was good enough for me. When I met Master Michelangelo and his brothers, we used to hang out there. It was barely big enough to fit all of us in, but it still felt like the whole world was such a happy time. All of them are sitting on the couch. Looks like they're playing a video game. Michelangelo's, of course, eating pizza. Donatello's just cracking up laughing. Until the Foot Clan decided to take it all away. We see that the turtles are trying to fight their way out of a fire. Looks like a scene similar to the movie. Casey Jones is helping April out as she looks on as the fire takes it. It felt like the end of the world, but you know what? It wasn't. Now, back to the farmhouse. Turns out your Grandpa Casey's family owned a small abandoned farmhouse in Northampton. The place was pretty run down, but we didn't care. It was the perfect hideaway. It ended up staying there for 3 months. We see all the turtles hanging out, fixing up the farmhouse with Splinter, cleaning it up, roasting marshmallows and having s'mores together, recovering, regrouping, bonding. And when we came to finally return to New York, we knew we would always have a home no matter where we were. As long as we stuck together, we arrived as friends, we left as family. See them all leaving in a giant red truck. And then they come back to the second time around. It's raining. When we got back to New York, the turtles and Master Splinter returned to the sewer lair, and Grandpa Casey and I moved into our old apartment building my family owned in Hell's Kitchen, complete with our own thrift store. Just like the farmhouse in Northampton, it had been derelict for some time. It was a complete wreck. You see Casey falling down in the basement after he sees a rat. So Grandpa Casey and I rolled up our sleeves and got busy turning that old mess into a new home. And that's how it was for years, a wonderful gathering place for our family. We see them eating Thanksgiving dinner together, all the turtles sitting there. And then the Foot Clan took that all away too, nearly killing me in the process. For a time, I was so sure that it was the end of everything and that we built and rebuilt together. I was so sure that my family was gone. We see that Ben Bishop has recreated the grisly death of Raphael, Leonardo, Casey Jones, and Donatello. Thankfully, I was so wrong. Pretty soon, I had a new baby, a new arm, and a new leg. And an old home that suddenly felt new too, as April now stands with her hand on Casey Marie's shoulder. Plenty enough reasons to keep on fighting. And we know that home is gone, and that our city could be too if we don't keep up that fight. But we will, because I believe this is what we were all born for. This is what our family does. We fight for what is right, always. And together, as they all kind of look on, hangdog expressions. Casey Marie gets it, with a very determined look on her face. But there's one thing that won't be the same. I've kept secret from you all, the biggest being this island, and what I've really been doing here. I thought I was protecting you from keeping you in the dark, but I realize now that I was wrong. And I said we were always in this fight together, and I meant it. So from this moment on, no more secrets, I promise, April says with a severe look on her face. Marley busts in. Excuse me, Doc, I don't mean to interrupt, but Tinker 2's here. In a submarine, apparently. As they all walk in, they could see the now light-haired, slightly older Tinker 2 is standing there. So you just couldn't resist, huh, April? First my dad, now everything he left behind for me. Teddy bear protocol my ass. More like Foot Flood Part 2, Aquatic Boogaloo. Wait, who's that? She's so pissed at your grandma, asked Amanda Rose Connor. That's Tinker 2. She runs the underground black market in Rock Bottom. Tinker 2? Yeah, 'cause she's a junior. Her dad used to be in charge, but he drowned back during the Foot Flood when Master Michelangelo was taking down the Foot Clan. And she blames Grandma April for that. See TMNT, The Last Ronin, Lost Day. But Tinky's still super cool, even if she's a little grumpy sometimes. Sometimes. And she has the coolest stuff, too. At least, she did, says Yi, talking to Uno. This isn't the same as last time, Tinker, and you know it, says Marley. Yeah, well, tell that to my livelihood, Marley. One second I got a profitable business, the next I got a giant sludge water aquarium. Thanks to your late warning, all I could salvage was Dad's old smuggling sub and a bunch of wounded jarheads I brought with me. And we appreciate your helping them, Tinker, really. What about Commander Zaranaga? Is he with you? Nah, him and his wife said that they were going to stay behind with some of the soldiers that were too hurt to make it to the sub. Last I saw, they were holed up in the old drainage tunnel outside of the wall. A lot of good it did them. Guess the commander decided to go down with the ship. Real nice, Tinker. Real nice. Wasn't trying to be nice. And don't you got some more holes to dig, Marley? Huh. Hi, Tinker. Hi, kid. Hey, Amanda. Saw you on TV. How? Look at you, Odyn. You're a ripped tank now. Not an ounce of chubby anywhere. Looks like your brother dropped the old reverse card on you, huh, Uno? Whatever. Ha! Laughs Moya. Marley responds to April. That whack job drives me nuts. Always with the smart-ass remarks. Maybe, but she did get a lot of our folks here safely when she didn't have to. Now, we need to figure out how to get the commander and the rest here, too. I think I got a plan for that, Mom, says Casey Marie. Now, Purple Dragon's compound. We have Jigsaw there. Casey finishes with, but it's kind of crazy. Limey bastard. Freaking Carleton thinks he's done with me. He's got another thing coming. Get off your asses, dragons. We got a job to finish. The guy with a mohawk says, Jigsaw, man, don't you think it's too soon for that? We barely got out of that stinking flood of As he picks him up with his mutated hand. No, boss, lifts him up by his neck. Someone tell you this was some kind of debate, skunk? Didn't think so. Throws him down on the ground. Listen up. I want every last one of you to spread out across the entire damn city. Pronto. Smoke out any trace of the resistance. What you gotta do to squeeze any intel out of them. We want the Joneses and their mutants. You scour the streets. I'll handle the drainage systems. You want to go where? You are off your rocker, Casey, says Tinker 2. I told you guys it was crazy, but the battle wagon isn't big enough to carry Commander Zaranaga and the others. That's why it's got to be your sub, Tinker. It's the only way. Now you're sounding like your mom. It's the only way. It's the only way. Why does it seem that the only way always involves putting me and my stuff at risk? Whatever, let's just get this over with. Before you depart, there is an anomaly I've been monitoring that I believe requires our attention. It involves the tower formerly occupied by the Foot Clan before they were defeated. The new construction taking place there specifically, I was able to trace the current ownership to a structure to a British-run company based in South America where it started plan to build a high-end apartments. But the company has tied to Arthur Bisley Carleton II, also known as the Chevalier. What concerns me is the fact that the immediate area surrounding the tower's reconstruction was remained completely immune to recent crime waves terrorizing the island. Almost as if that of Manhattan is under some type of unstained quarantine by city officials. Yeah, that is strange, says April. And something I can report on if I can get back to the city and find my crew. Okay, here's the new plan. We're going to make a detour to the South Shore first, as they get out in the submarine. Now we can see Odyn and Uno pulling up a raft as they use that to go from the submarine onto the land. And the turtles drop off Amanda. Get Amanda safely over the wall, then you four head to the old foot tower to see if you can find out what's going on. I want you back here at the beach 2 hours for pickup. I'm trusting you to stay stealthy and disciplined. Recon only. Do not engage. Understood? Casey Marie says to Moya. Yes, Sensei. Then Tinker will take me and my crew north as we get to the resistance folks on the sub. After that, we'll all head south again, grab the turtles, and we'll all head back to Roosevelt Island. See, the turtles getting off looks like where the Last Ronin got off on the first issue, the kind of that brown, brackish water. Okay, guys, let's stow the boat and get moving. Geez, this water smells terrible. This water's why the wall was built in the first place, to keep all that nasty sludge out to protect people. It was the Foot Clan that turned it into a prison, which makes it even more ironic that we have to sneak into the place. They look kind of surprised. All right, looks like we're set. Odyn, you've got Amanda. Okie dokie, as he picks her up. Wait, are you sure? That's a long way to carry someone. I could try to climb it myself. Nah, no worries. Pretty sure Odin's your biggest fan. Now, as they cast some grappling hooks up there to start climbing up the wall, we could see him, with Odyn holding Amanda Connor with ease. They jump down on the other side with a superhero landing. Thanks, big guy. You're, welcome. Okay, I'm good from here. You guys do what you gotta do. But maybe we should make sure you get home safe first. No, I appreciate it, but don't worry about me. This is my city, my beat. I've got this. Good luck, she says, taking off. The turtles do the same. All right, Sensei says we only have 2 hours to get back over the wall, which means we don't have much time to get from here to there, points to the foot tower. They take off on the rooftops, jumping, leaping, doing flips. You can see the chaos on the ground. There's smoke coming out of stores, looters everywhere. Now we see, still using the ropes and grappling hooks, swinging, kind of like Spider-Man across the way. They jump on top of a flying bus. Okay, we're here, let's do this, says Moya. How are we going to get in, though? We should be able to grapple onto the scaffolding and get inside without being seen, says Uno. Good idea. Telepathy only from here on. No more talking, she says mentally. I ain't hearing anything. You sure this is the right tunnel, Jones? That's what Tinker said, Scrape. How are we supposed to get them out, even if they're in there? Stand back. Casey kicks out this giant screen of metal that clearly no human should be strong enough to do. Commander Zaranaga, you in here? Casey? Yo, that's the commander's wife. Hurry! Oh, thank God you found us. Thank Tinker too, actually. She told us where to find you. And now we're getting you out of here. We see the resistance in bad shape. Looks like there's a lot of them who are bandaged up with slings and bandages on their head. They look pretty rough as they leave with Casey and Scrape and her crew. Back to the turtles, now on a fire escape. Remember, recon only. Let's do a quick sweep in. What the? This doesn't look like they're building new apartments to me, says Uno. Me either, says Odyn. Check this out. The computers are military grade, just like the ones on Roosevelt Island. Maybe even more sophisticated, as Yi tries to tinker with them. Apartments don't need this kind of security tech. Okay, let's move for another floor. We need more intel. Freeze, says Uno. You can see a drone scanning as they hide in the shadows. Do you think it saw us? I don't know, but what the hell was that? Okay, now I'm really convinced this isn't an apart building, says Yi. Come on, we'll sweep the floor and then we'll get out of here. We can let Sensei know what we saw, but then we start to get... Opens up on a room with all construction workers. Rally point. What do we do? Looks like they're just construction workers. But we're not supposed to engage the... guys? Kill them! As they all pull out ninja weapons in construction outfits, so clearly these are foot soldiers. I'm pretty sure they're not construction people either, says Odyn. You think? Now what? Now we fight, says Moya. I'm all for a good fight, sis, but I know, there's too many, and we're on the clock. Oh yeah, the rally point, says Odyn as he's smashing two of their heads together. They're fighting, doing quite well against the overwhelming numbers. We gotta go, guys. No, how? There's no way we're going to get to that door. Yi says, everyone, close your eyes. When electric blast shoots at a giant electric ball and just starts knocking people out of the way of the door. We see after that electric ball that she sent, Yi knocks everybody down. Damn, Yi. Yeah, respect, says Uno. Oh, thanks, guys. Arrows start coming in. Crap! Great. There's a whole bunch of construction workers now have bows and arrows. That was our way out. Hey, Yi, you think you can make another one of those electrical bubble things like on the street yesterday? Says Odyn. Yeah, I think so. Good. Follow me, Odyn says, turning into stone as he rushes towards them, knocking out the first construction worker with a whoomph. Yi, get ready, as he uses himself as a wrecking ball to smash through the window as they land on top of an elevator. Now in a giant shield of electricity, just flashing blue, we could see all of them. Now what, guys? We're running really late. These jerks aren't going to even quit. Even if we hit the ground running, they'll be looking for us everywhere. And still, we got to get over the wall. Over it or under. Odyn, can you get that out of the way? Uno says, looking at a grate leading into his water. Sure. We see Odyn has picked up his stone skin. Wait, you're not saying... Yep, time for us to make like turtles and swim. We see all turtles swimming under the water. Where the hell are they? Says Casey Marie, looking. I see the boat. They should be here, Scrape. It's a big city, Jones. Could be one of a million things holding them up. Don't mean it's got to be a bad thing. What if it is a bad thing? What if... Then you just got to trust the training that you gave them all these years. Case. Damn good training. They'll be fine. But you heard the doc. Some of those soldiers aren't going to make it if they don't get to Roosevelt soon. I say we get over there, so we get Tinker to bring us back here to pick up your kids a little later than planned. Yeah, you're right, Sensei, Moja? Huh? Sensei, wait. Moja, is that really you? Yes. She's in her head. But how? I'll tell you later. Just don't leave us. The turtles emerge from one of the sewer pipes, coming out with some of that sludgy water. We're coming. As they get into the boat. When we get back, I promise, Sensei, I'll explain to you everything. Just like Grammy April said, no more secrets. Jigsaw, laughing. He can see them. He looks out with his binoculars onto the submarine in the turtles' boat leading there. Well, well, well. Would you look at that? It says to be continued. And that's the end of The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, Issue 4. The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution, From the Ashes. Start out. There's a sunrise. Over the city, we can see the sun coming between the building. We hear the voice of Amanda Rose Connor on her newscast. And so, a new day rises over Manhattan Island, bringing with it more questions than answered. Questions like, why is it when two of the most notorious and dangerous gang bosses in the city we all call home, decide to declare a war on each other, it's always the innocent who suffer the most. We see kids playing in the street, and then the aftermath of all of the carnage from the battle between the gangs. Now we see some footage during the gangs. This is certainly a question the residents of Hell's Kitchen are asking themselves today after the Chelsea cartel and the Midtown Mafia turned their neighborhood into a literal battleground last night. We show Officer Wantabi commenting. Currently, an unofficial truce has been declared between the opposing factions brokered by Mayor Palmotti's office, according to Lieutenant Jiro Wantabi, Public Affairs Liaison for the NYPD. We've been able to get both sides to stand down. The police are coordinating with the mayor's office to ensure that the truce stands. The investigation is ongoing. I can only confirm that arrests have been made and that the law enforcement is working diligently to identify the individuals who are responsible for initiating the riot. A so-called riot that has claimed multiple lives on both sides, injuring innocent civilians caught in its crossfire, as well as inflicting countless dollars worth of damage to properties and businesses in Hell's Kitchen. We could see an ambulance picking up many people. Now it shows a wanted sign with closed-circuit TV of two faces. The criminal gangs alleged headed by Maximilian Antonio the Saint Cortez and Maya Parks the Angel Copeland seem to have escalated in their long-running turf rivalry for low-level conflict to full-scale warfare. In what seems to be a perfect storm of chaos and violence amidst a deafening silence from City Hall and other governmental agencies, we are left with yet another question desperately in need of an answer. Where are the heroes to fight for the weak and innocent? We can only hope that their answer will come sooner rather than later. Amanda Rose Connor, reporting from Hell's Kitchen. It says,
The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution from the Ashes. For Channel 6 News, says Amanda Rose. Well, looks like the reporter chick got back okay, says Tinker 2. April replies, yes, an extra credit for Amanda for not mentioning the resistance. The longer we can keep our situation under wraps, the better. Agreed, says Casey Marie. Tinker 2 goes back. What's to hide, April? The whole situation sucks rocks. I agree with that too, Tinker. But if you hadn't helped us out the way you did, things would be way worse. You saved a whole lot of lives with your sub. I guess. I bet I could have done even better with more warning time before April went all Noah with her waterworks. Unfortunately, that short notice couldn't be helped. The surprise attack on our underground bases caught everyone off guard. We lost all of our faculties and most of our supplies and equipment. As for manpower, we're down to just one platoon-sized group that was able to escape. And too many of those folks are WIA and treated here in my wife's triage center. We can see a bunch of wounded soldiers being helped out in the infirmary. The only weaponry and ammo we have available to us is stashed for a few friendly territories around Manhattan. Good news is, with Marley and Ahmed getting the comms back up, we'll be able to extract some of it in Roosevelt via Tinker's sub. And I can probably call some of my black market contacts too, and get some other supplies we're going to need, like food and stuff, says Tinker 2. How's security looking on Roosevelt, Casey? Good as can be expected. My crew's been working with Professor Honeycutt to set up surveillance systems and spotters all over the island. We could see her crew with Honeycutt, the android. Plus plenty of tripwires and booby traps all along the shoreline. Well, gotta say, it looks like we're doing the best we can with what little we have. I wish there was more intel, but isn't that always the case, really? We're really just gonna have to keep prepping for the worst while we hope for the best. Geez, says Yi, as they go to show where the turtles are now hanging out. We could see all four of them just hanging out together. This is the worst. I still smell like that yucky sewer water, says Yi. Don't complain too much, Yi. That sewer saved our butts, says Moya. Yeah, could have been way worse. Thanks to you, says Moya to Uno. Going underground was a good call, Uno. Thanks, Moya. No biggie. Would have never happened if Odyn and Yi hadn't got us out of the tower, though, he says, sharpening his sword. Honestly, it was a good teamwork all the way around, says Moya. Too bad those construction jerks screwed up the whole mission, says Uno. Yeah, who were those mean guys, says Odyn. And what are they doing with all that crazy tech, asks Yi. No idea. Maybe Grandma or Sensei will know, asks Moya. Well, they know about your telepathy now, which kinda sucks. Yeah, it was either that or get left behind, bro. Besides you what? Asks Uno. Switches to telepathy. Quiet, they're coming. Hey kids, what's going on? We were just talking about the guys that we fought in the old foot tower, Sensei. Perfect timing. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, says April. Honeycutt walks in with them. They've got Commander Zarinaga, Casey Marie Jones, and April set to talk to them. The commander says, let me ask, were the men that you ran into wearing what looked like medieval costumes? With big red crosses on their chest? No, they look like normal construction workers, says Moya. If you don't count the swords and axes that they were trying to kill us with, says Uno. Don't forget about the fancy computers that Yi found. So cool. Yi is just completely looking at Honeycutt now. Tell us about the tech you saw, kiddo, asks April. Oh, sure, Granny. The servers they had were really high-tech, almost like what you see on TV shows or movies, except these things were real. I think maybe it was their security system. But if that's true, the building's not just for apartments. It kind of felt like these things were soldiers would have. You know, like resistance armories? Soldiers, asked Casey Marie. Keratin seemed happy holding up the last few years in this tower north of the city, but you think he's got sights on Midtown now? It's possible. Those construction workers could just be the soldiers he dressed to blend in while they rebuild Hiroto's tower. And there's the South American business connection I mentioned earlier to consider. Perhaps the Chevalier has formed a partnership with them. The mainframe configuration Yi described certainly seems far too sophisticated for either the Midtown Mafia or the Chelsea cartel to manufacture, says Zayton Honeycutt. Agreed.
With that kind of tech, it's just a matter of time before they figure out we're biovac to this island. Yeah. We show now looks like Jigsaw, hanging out on a pier with the purple dragons. He's smirking, and he's got a smoking gun he just used. We hear Casey Marie say, "Just like those bastards somehow found the lair. Dump the body and get ready to launch." You think killing him was such a good idea, Jigsaw? Well, didn't seem like he was willing to give up his boat, Monarch, and we ain't got time to haggle. We need to get over to Roosevelt before those resistant folks get too dug in. Yeah, well, we really don't think 7 of us is going to be enough. Plenty. We're going in small, swift, and stealthy, just like them ninjas a taste of their own medicine. Besides, you already set up a diversion to cover us while we're going over those mutants. This is a big play for the purple dragons. Time for us to sink or swim. They throw a body into the ocean with a splash. Now we can hear a different voice. The assault on the tower has moved the timeline significantly. It's just a matter of time before the press comes sniffing around to prepare our strike force immediately. Understood. What about the creatures that attacked us? Nothing new to share for now, until we know their location to consider them a wild card. And the other players? Even with this new wrinkle, we remain ignorant to our true plan. When the order is given, they will not know what hit them, says the Chevalier. Open your ears and listen closely, for there is a change in our plan. I've received an anonymous tip that the commander of the Resistance has retreated to Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt? I thought that dump was off limits due to contamination. You thought wrong, Miss Copeland. We all did. Instead, like rats from a sinking ship. A ship they, ironically, flooded themselves. Our foes find themselves deeper in isolation than ever before. My Crusader Knights are prepping for an immediate assault, whilst we have them on their heels and licking their wounds. And what about the city, Mr. Carleton? Even if those riots were fabricated, the resulting damage was not. Yeah, quit playing your pretend war games and costing me and the Angels some for real good people. War games for you and Miss Copeland's organizations have played quite well, Mr. Cortez. Not to mention the marked efficiency of Chief Farley's police force, appearing to keep the peace while in reality feeding to the chaos. Together we've been able to root out the resistance fools. Now we stand at the precipice of crushing them completely. So now what, Carleton? Chief Farley, your police and good mayor, and our friends' gangs need only await future orders from me as my Crusader Knights finish off the remaining resistance troops. And once they do, I promise you, your very team, losses will soon transform into very real personal gains. So for now, stand by, he says, talking to all these people on a video monitor. Him in his white suit, sitting in his chair, looking out over the city from Hiroto's old tower. We hear him say, "As I unleash the storm." We see a vision of what he hopes happens, with the resistance crushed, all the turtles dead, with Case Marie and April. All of them, swords sticking through them. No, says Moya. No, no, no. Moya wakes up, after having a terrible dream, seeing this very vision. Moya! What the hell, Moya? Says Una. What's wrong, sis? Says Yi. It's the bad guys. She senses that they're on the way. We see the knight with the Red Cross armor getting off of helicopters coming onto there. And then, also accompanied by the construction workers they fought earlier. Richie, I want you and a platoon of your best men to remain with me in the city. Send everyone else to Roosevelt. Aye, aye, Mr. Carrington. Tell the men to don their weapons and their uniforms. The order to strike will be coming soon. Yes, sir, says the men in hard hats. We see now, looks like the police force out on the street. Damn it, Casey. Answer your phone, says Jiro. We see a satellite image showing the helicopters going to Roosevelt. Okay, looks like my little anonymous tip paid off. Diversion's on its way. We hear the voice and now see Jigsaw standing there on the beach of Roosevelt Island. Get ready to have some fun, dragons. They're here, says Moya, on the island. But what bad guys, Moya? Maybe it's just a bad dream, says Odyn and Yi. No, this isn't a bad dream, Yi. It's real. I gotta warn Sensei. I gotta warn everyone. They're here! Violently, just through everybody's head, at the same time, the telepathic message comes through from Moya we see Tinker and April and Zayton Honeycutt. And we see Commander Zaranaga and Casey Marie Jones all at the same time going, "What? Crusader Knights!" Resistance soldier says, "On the beach! Light 'em up! Fire in the hole!" Big explosion knocks a whole bunch of soldiers just into the air. "They're still coming! Open fire!" The resistance does its best to keep them back. "We've got invaders on the beach," says Commander Zaranaga. "Perimeter teams engaging, but they're still too outgunned to hold them off for long." "I'll take my crew and get some troops to back them up," says Casey Marie. What the hell was that voice in my head?" says Tinker 2. "Sorry about that. Later, Tinker. We need to make sure that the entrances in the command center are secured first," says April. "I will continue to monitor and operate the surveillance systems," says Zayton. "Me and Ahmed, we got the comms." "What about us?" "We want to help too." Fully equipped, ready to go, weapons packed. All 4 turtles are there, ready to go. "Good. I was coming just to get you 4, says Casey Marie. "I want you all to stand here with your grandmother until I give you new orders." "But Sensei, you know we can fight." "Yeah, just like in the old foot tower." "Yes, you can. And that's why we need you kids here, while my team focuses on the tech stuff," says April. Casey Marie takes her squad out there. "We're going to need capable soldiers watching our backs." "Keep shooting! They're getting past us," says the resistance. Casey Marie, in her purple outfit with her half-Casey mask. "Don't worry about that, Sergeant. We got your 6. Jumps into the fray. You expect her to say Goongala. "Smash these idiots! Smash them some more!" As she jumps on them, knocking them down. She's clearly bigger than they are, and her muscles are just glistening as she knocks them over, just really tearing through everybody. As she starts to say "don't stop," she's interrupted by another boom explosion. "Hot damn," says Jigsaw. "Sounds like all hell's breaking loose on the beach. Bad for them, good for you." "There! At the wall! Stop them!" The resistance tries to take out the dragons. "Son of a..." as they're ambushed. Jigsaw, his arm lights up. We can see it looks like a mutated arm with his bone inside. "Sorry, dragons," as he smashes into the steel plate. "But I got some unfinished business to attend to." And he ends up getting inside the base. Now we see back to the Carrollton. "Is everyone ready to go? On both islands?" Shadowy figure on a cell phone. "Yes, sir," answers to some of the soldiers that are wearing hard hats. "Our strike forces are within the outside of Roosevelt, are all in place." "In the tower," says the shadowy figure. "We're all secure as well." "And await your orders." "Then it is time to commence Operation Phoenix." The shadowy figure, we could just see the smile and the red phone. "Tell our soldiers to rise up." Foot soldiers rise up on Roosevelt Island out of the water, heading to the beach, now into the fray against resistance soldiers barely holding their own against the charlatans' knights. We could see the white armor with the red, and now a whole bunch of foot soldiers coming on. The resistance and the Crusader Knights. The street gangs and their leaders. And then the so-called Angel and the Saint. All of them at the same time are taken out, but what must be the resurgence of the Foot Clan. As they kill the Saint and the Angel, the Resistance, the Purple Dragons, all of them. To City Hall to kill the mayor and the police chief. "Rise from the ashes and destroy them all," says the smiling figure. "Mr. Carleton, we're getting reports of surprise attacks by a new player in Manhattan. City Hall, Midtown, and Chelsea. Full-on scorched earth, sir. Complete annihilation." If they're attacking here, I have no doubts that our efforts on Roosevelt Island are doomed for failure as well. It appears our silent partner has decided to remain not so silent anymore. Disappointing, if not inevitable." The soldier in the armor says to the Carleton. "At the moment, at least, they're removing some annoying obstacles from our path. Those government imbeciles and the bloody resistance." "But what do we do, sir?" He stands up, dwarfing the other character. "We stand fast for now, Richie. Post your men and prepare for what comes next. I'm confident we are secure in our tower for the time being, but our former partners know this as well. They may be sneaky, but they aren't stupid. And nor am I." We can see it looks like binoculars looking over the line. "Keep your friends close, and keep your enemies closer." "Lieutenant Wantabi, we just got word from City Hall, sir." Jiro looks down. "Mayor Palmani and Chief Fairley are dead, sir. Damn it, everything's happening too fast." "Sir, Not important. We've got a city to serve and protect. Let's get a 3-man team spread out across the island. No looting or vandalism on our watch. You copy, Sergeant Warre? Copy, LT. Sorry, Casey Marie. Shouldn't be this way. Now, back to the computer screen with April and Zayton. Warning, unknown forces outside the compound. They're attacking indiscriminately, decimating both Crusader Knights and Resistance soldiers. Who the hell? We gotta get out there. Your grandkids too, Dr. Jones. Like it or not, this is our Alamo. No, wait. It's okay, says Moya. We got this. Puts a mask over her face. They all get ready. Moya's right. We've got your back. Are you sure? Hell yeah. Yeah, just like you said, Granny April. We're Mutant Ninja Turtles, remember? As they all suit up, and then they head out into action. Now, not afraid to use their powers. We can see that Odin's already gone to stone. Now the electricity coming off of Yi is making a net that they're using to take out some ninjas as they barrel into them, taking the ninjas out pretty quickly. Look at them kick ass out there, says Tinker 2. Looks like you were worried for nothing, April. I hope so. Any word from Casey? Nothing, yet, Dr. Jones, says Ahmed. We're trying our best, boss, but right now the comms are going nuts. Damn it, maybe I'm worried about the wrong kid. Come on, April, Casey's fine, says Tinker 2. Who do you think taught those turtle kids how to fight? Warning, interior security sensors are picking up an anoma. Boom! An explosion knocks everybody down. April, on the ground, nose bleeding, is the only one who's awake. Satan is on the floor in pieces. Everybody else is knocked unconscious. Oh, well, Mrs. Jones, long time no see. My apologies for that little C4 entrance just now. I figured knocking would be a waste of everyone's time. Now Jigsaw picks up April and holds her above his head. Now, where might I find them slippery little critters of yours, ma'am? Jigsaw is attacking. Back to the turtles, who are now fighting in front of Casey Marie, who's on the ground, mask half shattered. Kids? Gotta help kids. There is no helping those monstrosities, warrior. It's all of a sudden 4 foot soldiers point a sword at her. Their time is done, as is yours. The future belongs to the Foot Clan. Casey looks shocked and gets her composure. Yeah? Prove it. She grabs her 2 Eskrima sticks, getting ready to fight, faces them down. Starts by attacking one of them, hits him on the side of the face, then knocks another one down. In the fracas, her mask gets kicked off. We hear the voice of Michelangelo, the Ronin. We are ninja, Casey Marie. We live our lives bound by duty and honor. We fight for it. And sometimes, we die for it. Now completely surrounded by ninjas, we see a flashback. The art style changes to Ben Bishop's art style. And these things, honor, strength, sacrifice, are rooted in discipline and come with a heavy price. Do you understand? As they sit in lotus position across from each other, candles lit. Yes, Master Michelangelo. Yeah, I thought I understood it too when I was your age. Times when it felt like fighting would never stop. I found out real quick now that my life had a nasty way of showing me over and over how clueless I really was. We see him standing over his dead brothers, then standing over Master Splinter, when honor was nothing more than a bad joke. When sacrifice was just insane tragedy. Turning over the little girl who was killed when he was in Mongolia. So many times when the price seemed too high, just too heavy, and I just wanted to quit. He holds up a medallion. Quit my discipline, quit being a ninja, quit being alive. But I didn't, and I won't, because one constant picks me up and pushes me forward, showing her the token. And this sees me through, my family, my clan, and now your clan too, Casey. Clan Hamato. We see the Hamato clan, the sigil that she holds. Wake up, ninja. On your feet. Your fight is not yet over. Who? I am Master Musaragi of Clan Hamato. But how? A story for another time, but just know that my elite guard are here now. So it looks like the Clan Hamato guard is taking on the foot soldiers, and the tide of battle is thus turned in our favor. But we do not yet understand the situation inside your compound. Oh no, says Casey Marie. Back to April, who's being choked right now by Jigsaw, as he's got her above his head and his arm. I won't ask again, Mrs. Jones. Where are those damn mutants? In your eye! As she reaches her hand out, her mechanical hand to poke into his eye. Blinding him, he drops her. You're gonna pay for that, old woman! Yeah, well, same on you, old purple dragons. All bark and no bite. That's Dr. Jones to you, soldier boy, she says, holding his eye and showing it to him. Blood dripping down from his eye socket. You know, I really was planning on letting you live once you told me where those mutants were. Was even going to turn him over to that limey prick Carleton alive, too. But now, as he punches the ground with a smash, it looks like a huge release of kinetic energy. I'm going to kill every last one of you! Casey Marie talks to the turtles. Come on, kids, we need to get back inside. Yes, Sensei, says Odyn. April, doing her best to dodge every strike from Jigsaw, gets out of the way. You're all dead! She ducks through his legs. Ugh, no! You'll never hurt my family! As she punches him in the back of the kidney, knocking him down. Never! Oh my god, I remember her! From the time that we fought the purple dragons with Grammy. I think her name was Monarch. She stands stuck to the wall. It looks like a scythe through her shoulder. The dragons? What the hell are they doing here? He was talking to Casey Marie Jones as Jigsaw is fighting April. I didn't say hurt. I said kill. As he produces a small pistol and shoots April almost directly in the heart. Gah! Stubborn old broad. What? We see an explosion that seems to tear him apart on a cellular level. Just with a Zayton shows up. April. Zayton, old friend. April, bleeding from a wound in her stomach. Always happy to help me. Mom! They arrive just in time to see the last minutes of April as she's bleeding out. No, not like this. No, please. It's okay, kiddo, it's okay. I protected the family. Now it's up to you. As her head falls down to the side, and she dies. The four turtles and Zayton Honeycutt look down as Casey Marie Jones holds on to April. So it's over then. We see the mysterious person on the phone. First phase of Operation Phoenix. Yes, they're all dead. The mayor, the police chief, the major gang leaders, except for Carleton. Ah, yes, old friend the Chevalier. He's been a useful puppet. We'll cut his strings in all due time. We see it looks like a Koro Kabuto Foot Clan helmet. One thing that you should know, actions against Clan Hamato were not a complete success. There were some who escaped Matsur Mosagashi among them. Mosagashi? Should we be concerned? No, like the Carleton, a minor inconvenience that can be dealt with later. For now, secure your city and prepare for Phase 2. New York City and Japan are once again under the control of the Foot Clan, and soon the entire world, Brother Jiro. As we can see, the mysterious force that was on the phone is an identical twin of Jiro. And that's the end of the Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, Nickelodeon Studios, or Paramount. This podcast is a part of the Dorkening Podcast Network and the Collector's Maze Network, and is sponsored in part by Deadly Grounds Coffee, coffee to die for. Check out our other shows on thedorkening.com and thecollectorsmazenetwork.com. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper. Be sure to check out some of our other amazing shows on the Dorkening, like Splash Pages, Retro Redoctopus, Comics Paradox, The Dork Knight, Bear at Night Podcast, The Old Man Wade Show, Hooked on Movies, Token with the Dead, and The Wicked Horror Show. And check out the amazing shows on the Collector's Maze Network, The Creature Designer, Glyph Keepers, Cost for Hope, Road Tripvia, Realmcast, Eat, Drink, and Game, Floor Access, Scooby Addicts, A Cartridge and a Quest, Nerdless Miniatures, Welsh Wizarding Collector, and House of Geekery.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds Coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds Coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly.
Yo, stop!
the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Your King Podcast Network with new episodes every Technical Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Reductibus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.